It is a meteor of awe-inspiring wonder, burning its way through the atmosphere. Powered by legendary heroes of the ages, stars of the screen that rival those in the sky, and the most electrifying group of fans in the history of the known universe. This is the fuel that rockets Comic-Con. Once a year, factions of fandom collide to witness a frenzy of stunning announcements, never-before-seen movie previews presented by the biggest names in Hollywood, and the absolutely latest breaking news from the world of comics. We've got your golden ticket to the event every fanboy will be talking about, blogging about, and drooling over. Right now, we take you there first, before anyone else. Together, we witness the heroic, the villainous, the famous, and the furious, who together make up this gargantuan global phenomenon that cannot and will not be stopped. Get ready for an exclusive inside look at the greatest event of the year, Comic-Con 08.
Welcome to G4's Comic-Con 08 preview show. Comic-Con is the single biggest gathering of comic book, film, and TV fanatics in the world, and we're the only ones who will be there live July 24th and 25th to cover it all. I'm Blair Butler, and this is Chris Gore.
Thanks, Blair. We're coming to you from Star Trek The Experience at the Las Vegas Hilton on the bridge of the world-famous USS Enterprise.
We're here because one of the most talked about movies at Comic-Con 08 is J.J. Abrams' reimagining of Star Trek. And in the next hour, we'll be bringing you an exclusive look at everything from Frank Miller's The Spirit to an update from the newly formed giant that is Marvel Studios.
We'll also hit the aisles to scope out the latest and greatest collectibles for you to blow your hard-earned cash on at this year's show.
Now, for those of you out there who have been living in a cave not containing an enchanted Asgardian hammer, here's a look at what Comic-Con is all about.
San Diego Comic-Con. It's a celebration of the past, present, and future of things gamma-radiated, marvelous, and just frackin' cool.
Comic-Con, it's great. It's the only place where I get to hang out with a Cylon.
For 4 days every July, hundreds of thousands flock to the mecca of all things nerd.
Nerds? I didn't see any nerds.
Founded in 1970, Comic-Con has evolved from a showcase of comics, sci-fi, and fantasy with only a handful of comic fans attending.
It was in a room somewhere. There might have been 30 or 40 people, and it slowly evolved. And finally, they had to take a little place in a hotel.
A record 125,000 fans filled the San Diego Convention Center to capacity. Comic-Con is the place where fans can get up close and personal with all their heroes. The creators of films, TV shows, and of course, comics meet the fans at panels, seminars, and signings.
I just love it. I love how everybody gets all dressed up and like so into it. And like you have like old people, you have kids. It's rad.
It's also become the ultimate place for Hollywood to launch their blockbusters. All the big stars come here, like Clive Owen and Iron Man himself, Robert Downey Jr. Why do they come? Well, the billion-dollar movie industry relies on these die-hard fans to start a good buzz about their project. It's also the biggest market for buying and selling all things cool. In fact, the practice of selling Comic-Con exclusive products is now expected among toy designers.
We got 4 great toys that are going to only be available at the San Diego Convention.
And then there are the costumes. This is the place for everyone's inner superhero, stormtrooper, and, well, we aren't even sure what this is, to meet, greet, and let their freak flag fly high and proud.
It's cool. I like it.
It's the most important cultural event of the century.
Now, among the many eagerly anticipated properties we'll be getting a look at this year is the movie adaptation of Will Eisner's The Spirit.
As if Will Eisner wasn't enough to whet fanboys' appetites, the project is being helmed by the man behind 300, Sin City, and The Dark Knight, the legendary Frank Miller.
Eisner and Miller, it's like Spider-Man and Wolverine in a Marvel team-up. Very, very cool.
We recently sat down with the producer of The Spirit, Michael Uslan. Here's what he had to say.
My city screams.
Answering the call of comic fans everywhere, The Spirit is swooping into theaters. But can a character relatively unknown outside fanboy forums become the next Spider-Man or Batman franchise?
I'm on my way.
With Frank Miller, the mad genius behind Sin City and 300 running the show, executive producer Michael Uslan is sure of it.
The Spirit is, I think, the greatest creative work ever to come out of the comic book industry. It has the film noir cinematic techniques of an Orson Welles, the suspense of an Alfred Hitchcock, and the heart and soul of a Frank Capra.
Created in 1940 by the legendary Will Eisner, The Spirit follows rookie cop Denny Colt, who returns from the dead to fight crime.
Ultimately, it's about a guy whose greatest superpower is his humanity.
But every great superhero is defined by their villain, and Miller's choice of Samuel L. Jackson as the Octopus gave the movie immediate street cred. And he's not the only big name tangling with The Spirit.
Ava Mendez is Sans Serif, and Silken Floss is played by Scarlett Johansson. Jamie King plays the siren Lorelei. Gabriel Macht is the Spirit, the perfect guy to play the Spirit, who has that wonderful sense of humor that's important to the whole thing.
My city. I cannot deny her.
Distributor Lionsgate has so much faith in The Spirit, it's actually pushing the premiere to Christmas Day, a date usually reserved for blockbusters. So why the firm belief that The Spirit is the next comic movie classic?
It all really truly comes down, is it a great story? Is it great characters? Is it well executed? Is it a really good film? And the answer is a resounding yes on all counts.
And of course, Frank Miller will be in San Diego this year to bring us even more exciting information on The Spirit.
We recently caught up with Frank as he was reddening for Comic-Con.
Or was it a Frank Miller scroll bent on ruining our show? We'll find out. Put it on visual, Gore.
Hello, G4. Frank Miller here. I'm in San Francisco at the Orphanage, finishing up The Spirit, so I have something to show you guys when we get to Comic-Con in July. It's looking great. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. I'll see you in a month.
Now, Comic-Con isn't just a place for industry heavyweights like Frank Miller. Aspiring pros actually flock from all over, hoping to parlay their book into the next big screen sensation.
Over the years, more and more major studio films have found their origins in independent comics.
Comic-Con. Every Hollywood player knows that hiding somewhere in this massive haystack of colorful collectibles is the needle that could be the next big screen blockbuster.
Most of the big Hollywood executives come to the Comic-Con because they're all looking for the next big thing.
It's a gold mine here. You got a lot of independent publishers coming down with material that is just some of the most creative work out there.
It's a winning formula. From Sin City and 300 to this year's Wanted, independent comics have become some of Hollywood's biggest moneymakers. But Hellboy creator Mike Mignola says when he started out, he didn't even think about turning his little comic into a big-time blockbuster.
My goal was so short-sighted, I just wanted to do the comic. The fact that it turned into anything else was so far beyond anything I had planned.
Unique characters, settings, and stories are the key to what makes an independent idea into a Hollywood hit. And Spawn, 30 Days of Night, and the granddaddy of them all, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, are proof.
Trying to imitate Batman or Spider-Man or whatever it is, you're just one of those guys. But if you do something that's yours, that's uniquely yours, maybe somebody will notice, maybe somebody won't. And if they do notice, yours is the only book out there like that.
The guys behind the indie publisher Loaded Barrel Studios went to cons hoping to sell their new book. They created Brielle and the Horror with the intention of getting a movie deal.
We were coming up with a new idea for a film and said, wow, this is a great idea for a comic book, and we would love to see this as a major motion picture and take it on and expand.
They were successful in getting the attention of producer David Uslan.
I took one look at it, fell in love with it, and now we are out trying to make it into a feature film.
Uslan's father, Batman producer Michael Uslan, told us that Hollywood's love affair with the indies was a long time in the making. Decades ago, he was one of the first movie execs to see that comics could make great movies.
My favorite rejection was, Michael, you're insane. Batman will never be a success. That was a long time ago in a galaxy far away, and I'm real happy to report everybody's attitudes have changed.
Yeah, that's quite a legacy, being known as the guy who said Batman will never be a success.
I think that's the same executive who said the internet would never catch on.
He's a genius. Now, of course, there are a couple of indie comics I would love to see made into films. One of them is Torso, a very dark comic about a serial killer in Cleveland set in the Elliot Ness days that David Fincher might direct. Very excited for that. Also, another comic called The Sword that would make a great sort of Buffy-esque TV series.
Cool. I would love to see a Peter Baggy's Hate made into a movie.
Okay.
You know, they did a cartoon on MTV once.
Really cool. Gore's got the indie cred. I love it. But of course, will any of these comic books become movies?
Find out July 24th and 25th when G4 presents an unprecedented 6 hours of live Comic-Con coverage. Catch all the comics, movies, and stars at the pop culture phenomenon.
And for more details, go to g4tv.com/Comic-Con.
Stick around. Coming up, we've got an insider's look at Marvel's new Hollywood venture.
So what's going to be the next Iron Man-sized blockbuster? Later, Marvel's president gives us the scoop on the newest superheroes to be unleashed onto the big screen. And after the break, we've got Star Trek, G.I. Joe, and J.J. Abrams' new show, Fringe. It's all part of your complete guide to what's coming to Comic-Con this year, including an awesome Watchmen reveal. It's all just ahead.
Hey guys, I'm Layla Kaylee. Since Second Life is so popular, Google thought you might enjoy a third. The company's latest offering is Lively, a 3D virtual reality application that lets users enter online hangouts through blogs and social networking sites. The free application is already running on Facebook, and Google engineers are scaling a version to work with the much larger MySpace community. And in movie news, Red Sonja is coming back to the big screen. Rose McGowan will star as a sword-wielding she-demon in a film presented by Robert Rodriguez. Flavor Flav's erstwhile paramour Bridget Nielsen played Red Sonja back in 1985 opposite a pre-political Arnold Schwarzenegger. Well guys, that's all for now. Visit us on the web at g4tv.com/thefeed for more of the news you need to know. I'm Layla Kaylee, and you've just been fed.
Welcome back to G4's Comic-Con preview show. We're in the transporter room of the USS Enterprise at Star Trek The Experience, gearing up for J.J. Abrams' relaunch of the popular franchise.
Now, movies are big news at Comic-Con every year, and lately, pretty much all of the big movies have been based on comic book superheroes like Iron Man, Batman, and the Hulk.
Let's take a look at the comic books, movies, and comic book movies that were featured at last year's Comic-Con.
2007. It was the biggest Comic-Con of all time. And unless you actually took the trip to San Diego last year, G4 was your only ticket to the exclusive conferences and announcements.
Yeah, I can fly.
Iron Man is a worldwide phenomenon, bringing in over $300 million for Marvel. But the buzz that shot Shellhead to stardom all began on the G4 stage immediately after director Jon Favreau screened his teaser trailer.
We were playing to our base here, so I cut a trailer just for this crowd. So I came out a little bit early and showed the reel today as a surprise, and everybody loved it.
The 2007 show was also huge for Trekkies, who got the latest news on the J.J. Abrams reboot.
The excitement for us is the ability to take this amazing world that Gene Roddenberry created and these incredible characters and show them in a way that you haven't seen them.
Fans went nuts when they heard that Spock was being played by Zachary Quinto and Leonard Nimoy. And yours truly was the first to spread the word.
That is the latest up to the minute. I just ran out and told you. Thanks, guys.
But the event that generated the biggest buzz at the 2007 show was the viral campaign that asked Batman fans, why so serious?
Here's my card.
Dollar bills with the Joker's face started circulating, launching a scavenger hunt that led legions of fans and our own Kevin Pereira around San Diego in search of answers. Unfortunately, Kevin couldn't decipher the clues and missed out on joining the Joker's gang, but G4 did crack the code, and we showed fans where they could watch the Dark Knight trailer for the very first time.
Go.
Which tricks and trailers will the studio spring on fans in 2008? Stick around and we'll give you a hint.
Of course, one of the most important factors in hitting it big at the box office is generating some hype.
Yes, and where better to hype your movie than Comic-Con? Now, this should give you a pretty good idea of the kind of crazy, fan-driven hype machine Comic-Con can be.
For every mega hit like Iron Man, there's a total miss like Snakes on a Plane.
You need to see Snakes on a Plane because you're going to be the only person in your neighborhood that hasn't seen it.
Sorry, Sam, not even close. And New Line Cinema was snakebit as fans stayed away in droves. The reason? The film just couldn't live up to the hype. Every year, movie studios head to San Diego with big movies and even bigger stars, hoping their films will catch on with the fanboys. But buzz can go both ways, shooting some movies to the top while others crash and burn. Comic-Con 2007 brought us the awesomeness that is Iron Man, the excitement that Indiana Jones induces, and the neon diarrhea that was Speed Racer. No matter which way they drove it, fanboys saw through the hype of Speed Racer and came out on the other side knowing best.
Speed Racer, what are you thinking?
What movie studios haven't learned about hype is that fanboys see through it. And when fanboys aren't talking about the movie, neither is anyone else. The studios have realized what the fans of Comic-Con can do for a movie and have started bringing movies that aren't even made for fanboys. Good Luck Chuck was everywhere at Comic-Con in '07, but nobody cared.
Great script, chemistry with a wonderful actress, put it all together, shake it up.
And you get a movie that the fanboys hated, changing its box office fate.
I guarantee you'll grab your mouth and go,
Comic-Con has proven time and time again, if we don't like it, neither will anyone else. Now, that being said, any film that Jessica Alba does, whether we like it or not, she is welcome on our show. Sometimes you really don't want to believe the hype, Jessica.
Okay, well, there's no way to guarantee you won't fall victim to the studio hype with the minefield of new projects coming up. There are some tips that can steer you away from any potential bombs.
We gave you a look at the spirit. Now here are some other absolute must-sees at Comic-Con 2008. Watchmen, Joss Whedon, Star Trek, The Walking Dead. These are the super secret projects that have been getting the fanboys hot and bothered over every little piece of grainy intel that's posted on the internet. But Comic-Con is the place where rumors turn into reality. The studios give fans the first official peek at what's to come. And 08 promises to have more not-to-be-missed big reveals than ever before.
Comic-Con's always been about the fans and the buzz that they create.
G.I. Joe is already one of the most anticipated presences in San Diego this year. Sure, we've seen the action figure, the comic, and the cartoon, but not much has been seen from the upcoming movie. This will be Joe's first test. Will fans be shocked and awed by what they see? Another movie that's generating mega buzz is, of course, J.J. Abrams' Star Trek. If you haven't heard about this by now, you don't deserve to be called a fanboy.
It's tricky because this matters so much to so many people.
Spock, a.k.a. Zachary Quinto, will be pulling double duty at Comic-Con as he and the rest of the Heroes cast will be revealing the latest word on Season 3, villains.
You never know what you're getting around every corner. Is this character good? Is this character bad? Is this character gonna tear my face off?
New on the TV front are two super hyped shows that have been under lock and key. Joss Whedon's thriller Dollhouse and J.J. Abrams' Fringe. For the latest on the most anticipated books like Astonishing X-Men, Final Crisis, and The Walking Dead, G4 will be your first and only stop. And finally, there's The Watchmen. Fans have waited 20 years to see this legendary comic turned into a film, and it seems like they just might get their first peek at Comic-Con.
And right now, you're going to drop a super huge exclusive just for the G4 audience on Watchmen?
G4 will be covering all the Watchmen announcements and panels, and we might just have a little surprise of our own. We can't show you anything else until then, but trust us, it's going to be worth the wait.
Zack Snyder, everybody, come on!
Without question, the movie everyone is dying to get a look at this year is Watchmen. Now, G4 has ultra-exclusive footage that you won't see anywhere else. For once, we'll all actually get to see something before the internet gets its greasy paws all over it.
I can't wait. G4's Stay Out of the Sun summer continues with an unprecedented 6 hours of live Comic-Con coverage.
Check out all the comics, movies, and stars at Comic-Con 08 Live, July 24th and 25th.
Keep watching because coming up, we're going to take a look at the costumes, one-of-a-kind collectibles, and the exciting events that can only be found at Comic-Con and only on G4.
Up next, we've got a look at one orc's epic journey to reach the con. And we have a peek at the most shocking costumes in the galaxy.
I created this character myself.
So did I.
Plus, the man behind Iron Man, the Hulk, and all the Marvel magic reveals his secrets. It's all right here on G4's Comic-Con 08 Preview Show.
Welcome back to G4's exclusive Comic-Con 08 preview show. Now mark your calendars, July 24th and 25th will be delivering an unprecedented 6 hours of live, unlimited access to the comics, movies, and stars at the place where fans come to meet the industry and vice versa. One of the most unique aspects of the con are, of course, the costumes.
Let's take a closer look at exactly how far the fans are willing to go to resemble their idols.
Comic-Con is a place where no one has any shame, where no matter who you are, you feel that you look good in tights.
G4 comes to Comic-Con every year. We've seen a lot and we've learned a thing or two along the way. We just wouldn't feel right sending you to the floor of this massive costumed world without handing off some of our knowledge. Ah! Nudity is almost never okay. She's okay. She is okay. But these two and anyone that looks like them, not okay. Your kids are not props. They might be good for cleaning or picking up around the house, but let them realize they are geeks on their own.
You had to get body cast?
Yeah, I was in body cast.
Stormtroopers are not security guards. So if they ask, don't give them personal info.
See some ID, please.
Just 1 second, please.
Use what you have. Whether it is pale white skin or only one leg, it's yours, own it, use it, and bring it to Comic-Con.
I'm an original design. I created this character myself.
So did I. Listen, there are a ton of jackasses with homemade costumes running around the floor. You need to stand out. You need to leave your stand. Or you at least need to not be this guy.
Cracking my ass is a steaming labyrinth of bodily secretions right now.
The coolest one I ever saw, a guy dressed the alien that had the full-on like teeth that came out and bit. The creepiest costume though, the guys that were nude except for the Cheerios. That's just unhygienic. It's wrong.
That's weird. Best one I ever saw was someone dressed as a Darth Vader action figure, complete with telescoping lightsaber.
Very cool. Mid-condition.
But thousands of people make the yearly pilgrimage to the Mordor-esque tower of fandom known as Comic-Con. But none of them are as dedicated as the man, rather the orc we're about to show you.
Yes, prepare to be schooled on the sensation that is live action role-playing or LARPing, because we're about to meet the dude under the leather cowl.
To me!
My real name is Jesse Williams. I've been a nerd back before being a nerd was cool. My character is Tarmac the Orcish Lord of Runways.
During the week, he's a common computer tech, but on the weekend, he steps it up.
My friends and family think I'm a complete freak. For a long time, I tried to hide the fact that I was different than everybody else. But why? You know, I am who I am. I started reading Lord of the Rings when I was, 11 or 12? At least every 2 years, I'll read the 3 big books. Dagger Hero is a Tolkien-esque fighting game that revolves around different fighting groups. For example, we run the Orcs.
It's like real Lord of the Rings warfare, except you're slaying your opponent to a fake death.
In place of real weapons, we use these, which won't get hurt from them.
I hit him on the back. After I've hit him in the front, he's dead.
We've got Romans, we've got Mongols, we've got the Orcs. There's even elves. Hate elves.
Shunga, shunga, ooga! Come on. Yeah.
Now I know you want to try it, don't you? I get to just be the biggest jerk I can. See, you can block with your head. Comic-Con is almost like Mecca.
That's right, Tarmac is going to pack the car and make his very first trip to Comic-Con.
Well, not all the Orcs, but a good number of us are going to be there. With all the Orcs coming, it's going to be that much closer and that much more fun. And we're off. Comic-Con or bust, baby!
This year will be the Comic-Con debut of Lord Tarmac, so be sure to keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, the guy is really dedicated. Although, I have to say, as impressive as it may seem to dress in orc wear to wage fake battle, I personally would pit my Stormtrooper armor against his chainmail any day of the week.
You look great in that Stormtrooper
Oh, yeah, it was really slimming.
I imagine going to the bathroom must present its share problems as well.
Yeah, it takes like 15 minutes to get out of the armor, and then you're like dropping piece by piece, and people in the other stalls are like, what the hell? It's very weird.
Anyway, Blair's not the only G4 star to dress the part. Here's an up-close look at the secret identities of two of our hosts.
We have that ability, as you guys probably know about twins, you can finish each other's
sandwiches.
No, sentences.
It was the late 70s, late 70s. We were just on top of the world. The most popular part of probably the greatest collection of superheroes ever, the Justice League.
So what happened? Why'd you get kicked out?
People probably realize that turning into water is lame. I mean, it's water. How lame is that?
So this is my fault. You're still blaming me? Because you make it sound like I chose this power.
At least I don't need some kind of helper monkey with a magic bucket to carry me around. I can walk on my own.
So what happened to Gleek?
Oh, he died. Yeah, he's dead.
Oh, yeah, and turns out that bucket of his, pretty important. Solomon Grundy's on that roof! Quick!
Wonder Twin, power, activate! Form of water!
Form of? Oh, crap. Are you kidding me?
Hey, help! So, yeah, finding work has been a little rough. We have a very specific skill set, and the jobs that we can get aren't all that amazing. So as you can see, I think our qualifications really speak for themselves.
You turn into water?
Yes, sir. Yeah. You?
I turn into animals.
Oh, wow, that's neat. Can you use a mop?
Shut up! But we do find ways to stretch each dollar.
Well, you especially.
Oh.
You're really good at it. You really are.
Hey, you guys have money for the cable bill from last month? Because I'm just saying, every time I come in here, you guys are watching Animal Planet or the Weather Channel. I think it'd be nice if you chipped in once in a while.
We totally put it on the table back there, right behind you.
Oh, great, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate it.
Form off.
Guys, I don't see any money here.
No, actually, I'm still in the Justice League. Why? What did you hear?
Coming up, you're not going to want to miss some valuable pro tips on making sure collectibles stay collectible.
Ooh, and later on, we'll take a look at my continuing, very embarrassing Comic-Con adventures.
Can't wait for that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Coming up, we'll tell you how to turn that $5.99 action figure into a retirement plan.
The gold Destro, that goes upwards of $400.
Plus, we get the goods on Marvel's master plan for 100% Hollywood domination. You wouldn't like us when we're angry, so stay tuned.
Carl Conrad, the coolest geek in the world. As a child, he won a mint copy of Action Comics 1 in a knife fight with a monkey. He once showed up to school driving the Batmobile. No one ever learned where it came from. He made love to 3 different women while waiting in line to see the return of the king. Carl will be watching G4's coverage of Comic-Con Await live with exclusive interviews and the hottest news on TV, films, and comics. If the coolest geek in the world is watching, shouldn't you? Comic-Con Await live, July 24th and 25th.
Welcome back to G4's Comic-Con 08 preview show, bringing you all the spandex-clad action and excitement you can handle.
We're coming to you from Star Trek The Experience in Las Vegas, home of the only Enterprise larger than the one I have at home.
It's a pretty big Enterprise. Anyway, for those of you out there looking for something that will stay with you a lot longer than a Romulan ale buzz, Comic-Con has the coolest figures and mini busts.
Once you're done waiting in line for that custom sketch of you and the Thing double punching Galactus into a coma, you'll want to uncover all the exclusive collectibles available at the con, from mini-mates and mezcos to life-size statues.
I went straight to the experts at the Frank & Son Collectible Show to bring you the ultimate guide to buying. So don't even think about ripping a bag or opening that box until you've checked it out.
Iron Man Mighty Mug Gears of War action figure. 10 years from now, one of these collectibles could be worth its weight in gold, and the other one could be collecting dust. So which one do you buy? First, you have to get educated. What should people know when they buy those action figures so they don't knock a bunch of value off it?
Well, don't bend the card. That's one.
People look for nice, crisp packaging, no dents in it.
How much value does a toy drop when you take it out of the package?
You're going to lose a ton of value. You're going to probably, I think they say it's 65 to 70% of the
Wow.
value of the figure.
The true collector will keep it in the package.
Gotcha.
You might take two for yourself and take one out
Okay.
that you can play with.
Perfect. So when I reenact 300, I should buy 2 copies of every character.
Yes.
All right. Exclusives. What does the word exclusive really mean?
When a manufacturer makes a toy, some companies would want a special version of that particular line. For example, like Toys R Us here has exclusive Heroes figures with special deco.
Comic-Con has its own exclusives, and every year these collectibles are the most coveted items in San Diego.
Last year there was a Comic-Con Destro figure. There was a gold one and a silver one, and they were really tough to get. Hasbro's booth was a zoo last year, and Comic-Con, the gold Destro, that goes upwards of $400.
Called variants, these special versions can skyrocket in value. It's just a matter of picking the right one.
Released last year for G.I. Joe's. Hasbro made a Black Wolf version to kind of commemorate the anniversary. Both of these figures retailed about $5.99 when they first came out. The regular Gray Wolf goes for about $35 now, but now this one's worth like about $150.
Also huge among collectors are limited run statues, but just because they look like action figures doesn't mean you treat them the same.
With action figures, normally if they're carded or blister packed, you don't open them. With statues, you always want to open it and check it. It is a little different. It's not going to decrease the value because you want to make sure that you're getting a good product and that you're happy with it.
So what are the hottest items on the market right now?
Hot overall, I think right now the main thing is Batman. We sold all of our Joker figures this morning. I think 5 of them, Heath Ledger's death caused a lot of that. Unfortunately, it's one of the things with toys is speculators try to capitalize on an unfortunate event, and that's just one of the case.
Now, the granddaddy of all comic book conventions is right around the corner, but there's one thing you should know before San Diego.
Get there on Thursday. Get your stuff out of the way. And after you get all your exclusives, do what you got to do on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Now, the hardcore collectors out there will want to pay close attention to this special early look at the newest figures, busts, and replicas ready to hit Comic-Con this year. Every year at Comic-Con, thousands of fans line up for hours to be the first to get their hands on the new figures. If you can't be Batman or Superman or Iron Man, then the next best thing is owning them. The awesome thing about collectibles is that it's everyone's superhero fantasy come true. No embarrassing spandex required. And in true G4 fashion, we got the inside scoop on what's going to be hot this year. Mezco Toys has a little secret just for us. They have 3 new lines coming from 3 of our favorite projects.
Over here from the new movie, Hellboy, The Golden Army, we have Hellboy and Liz and Abe Sapien from the first movie returning. And these are our new Heroes action figures that we're very excited about. We have Claire and Siler and Hero and Peter and Mohinder.
And the most hyped black and white character this year is now standing 7 inches tall.
And finally, we have one of the most anticipated lines for 2008 and 2009. It's the Spirit.
Legendary toy maker Mattel is at it again, bringing 2 new amazing pieces exclusively for fans at Comic-Con.
One of them is Lobo, the killer bounty hunter. Another one of our exciting exclusives is we're bringing back He-Man in the Masters of the Universe Classics line.
From Heroes to He-Man, the exclusives are only at Comic-Con.
For those of you not versed in the ways of the con, the floor is a gargantuan 525,000 square feet of fandemonium. Watch as our own Zach Selwyn pulls off the impressive feat of navigating it in record-breaking time.
Yo, I'm down here on the floor at Comic-Con. I got the Ghostbusters. This guy's name is Shubmeyer. You got to change that, man, if you're going to be intense out there. I'm going to navigate Comic-Con from one end all the way to the other in under 3 minutes, even though these guys don't think I can do it. That's what I do, man. I navigate. One of the coolest things about Comic-Con is Artist Alley, where you don't need to be famous to show off your art. You just show up, throw it on the table, and your peers can admire it and check it out. Are you famous, my friend?
Not yet, but you're gonna help me with that, aren't you?
Famous now. Back in the day, I used to be a tagger, so when they said, come on over to the Monkey Kid robot and write a G4 moniker on it, I was the guy for the job. Where else can you find Puka, the Night Elf, and what are you, some kind of slip and slide? Hey, Kev, hey, Olivia, I gotta run. What I love about Comic-Con, you can run into guys like Tim Sale, who just happens to do all the art on the TV show Heroes. I'm gonna go sell that online. I'm starting to feel like a zombie. Cherry darling, I'm a little lost. Can you show me how to get to the Lucasfilm booth?
I think it's right over there.
Oh, okay. Hey, the Lucasfilm booth. Oh, it's so tranquil, so peaceful. We're in the book stage. We're running into people. There's Chris Gore. Oh my God. Get out of my way. I gotta hit the end of the wall in 32 seconds. Okay, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna make it. Hits the side, stumbles into the bookstore, and lands on the Encyclopedia of Comic Book Heroes, version 2. I made it here. I did it.
And keep in mind, that would be tough even in an empty building.
Not to nerd out, but that's like a Flash or Quicksilver level speedster.
This summer, stay out of the sun. Check out G4's Comic-Con 08 Live with an unprecedented 6 hours of colossal live coverage. Experience all the comics, movies, and stars at the pop culture phenomenon.
Catch all the action right here on July 24th and 25th.
Stick around. After the break, we've got the latest info from the president of Marvel Studios.
That's right. We have everything you need to know about the heroes Marvel is bringing to the big screen. And we're turning Blair Butler loose in molded plastic, spandex, and a big bubble. It's a host gone wild. Up next.
Welcome back to G4's Comic-Con 08 preview show.
We are back on the legendary bridge of the USS Enterprise here at Star Trek: The Experience in Las Vegas.
As you know, one of the biggest movies to be previewed at Comic-Con 08 is J.J. Abrams' take on the Star Trek universe.
You've got Leonard Nimoy back as Spock. You've got Romulans. I'm excited.
But whether it's J.J. Abrams or someone else at the helm, the odds of making a hit film that also pleases the hardcore fans is never easy.
Which is why one of the most exciting recent developments in the comic book world has been Marvel taking control of their movie-making endeavors through their recently launched studio.
We got up close and personal with the president of production at Marvel Studios, Kevin Feige.
From the web slinger to Wolverine and Company, the box office for Marvel-inspired films reaches over $5 billion. The big reason Marvel now dominates Hollywood's comic book universe is because in 2005, the legendary comics publisher decided to bypass the studios and make the movies themselves. President of production Kevin Feige told me it's all part of Marvel's master plan.
You know, it's been a boom that's been going on for about 8 years now. We're now embarking on a new journey for us, which is financing them ourselves, having complete creative control of them. We feel we know how to make these films. We've been doing it for a long time. We know how to do it.
After huge returns from their first two films, Iron Man and The Incredible Hulk, Marvel proved that listening to the fans really pays off. In fact, every year the fledgling studio looks to Comic-Con as their ultimate testing ground.
Comic-Con is part of a marketing conversation before you even start filming. Before you decide on a poster, before you decide on a trailer, you decide on what, if anything, you're going to bring to Comic-Con. And on Iron Man, we cut together that Comic-Con piece long before we did a teaser, and in fact, the response was so good from the fans at Comic-Con that became the teaser.
The upstart studio is now in full swing, and what every fan wants to know is, what's next?
Luke Cage has been in development for a long time. X-Men Origins Wolverine is in production now in Australia. That comes out in May of '09. We also have Punisher Warzone. Ray Stevenson is making an amazing Punisher. We've got one of the best villains we've had, Dominic West, playing Jigsaw. That comes out on December 5th this year.
We've also heard about Ant-Man and Thor being on the horizon. Any word about those, and any word about other projects that are kind of stepping up?
Ant-Man, Edgar Wright is working on now. We have a writer working on Thor. We have a draft of Captain America.
Nice.
So it could be any number of those.
And where Marvel goes next all depends on what the fans say this July in San Diego.
Comic-Con is all about passion. It's not about anything other than fandom and passion. They will tell you if they don't like something, but more importantly, they'll give you the benefit of the doubt if they love something.
Iron Man was awesome for comic fans, awesome for people that didn't know anything about that franchise, so I love what Marvel's doing so far.
And the Hulk movie was a lot of fun. I mean,
Yeah.
we got to see the Hulk smash things, which is what we always wanted to see.
And one of the great things is that the Iron Man trailer debuted at Comic-Con '07, and we actually covered it, and I'm so glad that movie turned out really well.
My favorite Comic-Con highlight is, of course, the continuing adventures of our very own Blair Butler. She manages to dazzle the con-goers without any version of Stark armor or vibranium shield, not even a healing factor. Watch as Blair demonstrates she truly is one of Comic-Con's shining lights.
Yeah, right.
Blair Butler was struck by cosmic rays while holding a copy of Avengers number 18. Her genetic material fused with the book, giving her an esoteric knowledge of comic book minutia and a thick mylar coating, making her impervious to most fanboys.
And where's Blair Butler?
Hi. I think I'm at the wrong meeting. I'm evil.
Ma'am, I'm gonna have to write you a citation for nudity.
Does this thermal detonator make my ass look big?
I'm nervous. I don't know why.
So are you gonna strap on any armor in this this movie?
No, I don't strap on nothing.
That was dirty, I'm sorry. Hulk, you are wearing very little right now.
Don't be afraid of the dark, love.
I'm not afraid of the dark, love, I promise you.
I'm not a classically trained singer, and a lot of people are surprised about that. The voice is inside. Saint Logan must die!
Don't stop.
Come on. Oh, for crap's sake. I mean, we're fighting crime here, people.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go find a mythological hammer to go with my helmet.
Wow, you have been to a lot of conventions.
Indeed, I have, but I have to tell you, this year in '08, I'm incredibly excited for Watchmen, Alan Moore's legendary comic book, coming to the big screen.
But also Star Trek, rebooting Star Trek, I think is going to be awesome. I think fans are finally going to get excited about a Trek movie.
All right, well, that is it for this year's Comic-Con preview. But don't miss G4's Comic-Con '08 Live, July 24th and 25th. An unprecedented 6 hours of live coverage from the place where 100,000 fans worship at the altar of pop culture.
Now, keep in mind, the show has been selling out like mad. The 4-day passes are gone, yes. So if you haven't purchased your tickets yet, G4 is your only way inside.
We'll bring you colossal live coverage of the comics, movies, and stars at what's sure to be the biggest fan gathering of all time, Comic-Con '08. For more details, go to g4tv.com/Comic-Con. All right, well, that's it for us. As they say in Klingon, kapla.
I think it's kapla. Kapla.
It means good luck and goodbye. But it sounds like you have a hairball when you do that.
Success. Kapla. It's kapla. You can do it, Blair.
That sounds so gross.
Just use the back of your throat.